Today, we're talking about how to bring the traditions of winter solstice and Yule into your practice, no matter what you believe and no matter what you do in the month of December. Hi, my name is Tahverlee. I'm a high priestess, a practicing witch, and the founder of the Moon Temple Mystery School. And today, I am here to bring you practical, real, easy ways to bring the power of winter solstice into a time of year where we can often be super busy. So stay with me and I'll give you all the details. If you want to celebrate Yule and your own spiritual path in the month of December during winter solstice, then that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to give you simple, practical, beautiful rituals to honor Yule this year. And it doesn't matter what you traditionally practice or believe in. And it doesn't matter if you also practice Christmas. You honor and celebrate Christmas, whether it's through a Christian belief or just your family's holiday. It's okay to make space for both. But today we're talking about how to truly honor winter solstice and what the meaning of Yule is. Because winter solstice and Yule is around celebrating the longest night of the year and the return of the king sun. It's a traditional time of celebration. It's a traditional time of reflection and honoring our loved ones. And I'm going to give you a few very beautiful, practical ways to bring Yule into your tradition, no matter what you believe. And if you don't want to call it Yule, you can call it just honoring the winter solstice, honoring the equal parts of light and dark. And if you missed my Witching Hour video where I talk about the power of the elemental energetics behind the month of December, go find that video because that will be a great companion to this. So we know that pagan mythology tells us that traditionally, Yule and winter solstice was a time to prepare for the return of the sun, the king's sun, the sun that shines and brings life to all things. In Christianity, it was also the return of the sun or the birth of the sun, the bringer of light. And it doesn't matter what you believe, but these traditions all come together to tell us that it is a powerful time of the year. And of course, to me, solstices are times to honor liminal space. And in the Spellbinders Club, I did a full teaching on how to work specifically with liminal space and the power of liminal space. But even if you don't know what liminal space is, and you'll have to go find that video, just know that when we are in the in-between, it creates an opportunity for us to walk through and step through portals. And the winter solstice portal is traditionally around slowing down, honoring the light and the dark within you. And light is the element of fire. So the traditional beliefs around Yule often involve a Yule log. Yes, most people know a Yule log, but it's more about honoring the fire within you and how to prepare yourself to relight your fire as the sun continues to return. So foods, traditional foods to use in Yule. And by the way, these are going to be a series of rituals and things for you to create a single day celebration. If you can't do it on the winter solstice, then the closest that you can would be great. I invite you to consider winter solstice a sacred day, no matter when it falls. Consider it a sacred day for you to honor yourself and your love of others and your love of all things in nature. As the earth has been sleeping and the earth is in its great pause, but we know that the sun will return. It's honoring life, death, and rebirth. So I'll give you some tools and some tips and then some rituals to do. So the symbols of Yule are gold, green, silver, and red. Ring a bell? Foods are a lot of dried foods, fruits, seeds, nuts, spices, cookies, all the things that your own family has traditionally used this time of year can also be brought into Yule. I am a baker, and so I love to create all kinds of cookies and goodies, and I use it for Yule and to celebrate the holidays. But bringing something from your hearth or your stove, your fire, to your family is a beautiful practice. Herbs are bayberry, evergreen, all sacred woods, frankincense, mistletoe, and holly, plants, herbs, plant allies. You can burn them, bringing them into your altar. You can use them to create anything beautiful through winter solstice into the holidays. And celebration ideas. Let's consider winter solstice a sacred day. So on this sacred day, you can work with foods, you can work with intentions, you can work with love. You can create an altar. I'm going to give you some ideas on creating an altar. You can work with the sacred plants of the season, and those might be different depending on where you reside. So work with the plants of the season where you are located. But the most important thing I invite you to bring into winter solstice, if you do nothing else other than this, it's bring in slow living. How can you move more slowly? How can you step out of the hustle and bustle just for one day? Just for one day. And I know you're thinking, Tahverlee, it's a busy day. It's a few days before the traditional Christmas. I've got shopping to do. I have a Christmas party. I have things to bake and family to see. Yes, and can you bring in slow living to all of those activities? Can you make it slower? Can you bring your own energetic pace down? And recognize that on the longest night of this year, your body can move slower. Let go of focus on capitalism just for a day and focus on love and celebration. And to honor the fire, the return of the King's Son, as he's going to return to lengthier days. Think of how you light trees. Whether it's a Christmas tree or trees outside, take a moment with the tree, even if it's just a symbolism of a tree, that lighting the tree is honoring the return of the light, and how it automatically brings joy to your body. Sitting by a fire, sitting by candles, lighting up a tree, it brings joy. It brings presence. And slow living is about being so present in the moment. It's about honoring yourself in those moments and being present with the people that you love and with joy and with celebration. Now, how about creating a Yule altar or a winter solstice altar with or without a log? Here are a couple of ways to make a powerful altar and bring rituals to your altar space. I invite you to make this altar in the center of your living quarters, whatever that looks like. Coffee tables, kitchen table. Bring some of these sacred plants in, make a display, bring candles, bring beauty, bring things that you honor and your family's tradition honors the season. And one powerful thing to bring in that your whole family can participate all through the rest of the month of December, all through the holidays, is to have a gratitude bowl. And whenever you pass by this bowl, note down on a little piece of paper something that you're grateful for from the year that is just about to come to a completion. In a traditional Yule log, you might, if you have a candle burning in the middle of the Yule log, you might adhere these pieces of gratitude to the Yule log. If you're actually burning a whole Yule log in a fire, you might put these to the side of it in some way. I invite you to work with a wooden bowl or something wooden to honor a Yule log, even if you're not using a Yule log, and fill the bowl with expressions of gratitude, and have your children, your parents, your family, your friends that are coming over, or even if you're going out, bring a stack of tiny little pieces of paper cut in squares and have them write down what they're grateful for and add it to your grateful bowl and hold it. Like, hold that gratitude. That is celebration. And at this altar, whatever you've created that's beautiful, you might also honor loved ones that are no longer with you. But look at it as a place to do sun prayers. The sun is returning. The King's Son is coming back in to our fields, and we're slowly going to come out of the winter slumber. Even if it stays cold a little longer, we're slowly coming out of the winter slumber. So what kind of prayers or intentions, because prayers are just spoken intentions. What kind of prayers can you do at this altar space with your family, your whole family? and just yourself. If it's just you, that's beautiful too. Honor all of the elements in your Yule altar. You might have candles, suggesting you have candles, or Yule log to the north. To the east, bring in what you represent air with this time of year. It could be incense. You could burn juniper, cedar, and pine and put it to the east. And to the to the north, you're going to add fire or earth element. I prefer on altars when we're maybe heavy in fire to keep it to the north if it's up against something, so the south fire isn't near your body for safety purposes. So for me, I always envision a Yule altar moving my fire to the north just for safety purposes. But if you're putting this in the center of a table, you can just choose the directions. You can also honor cardinal directions, and you can also honor all four elements in each direction. So to the north, if it's a circular space, put something to the earth. To the east, air. To the south, fire. If your altar is up against something or a wall, say for example, put the fire to the north for safety purposes. And you can switch earth and fire. And then to the west, bring in a beautiful chalice of water. You might even desire to put a few cranberries in the water, or some fresh flowers, some fresh mistletoe, or some fresh greenery. And utilize this space as a space for you to gather with your family, with yourself, with prayers for a strong honoring of the sun who is preparing to return. And I also invite you to consider, what is the returning sun feeling like for you? If you haven't yet done all of your wheel casting or your intention setting for 2024, take this time between winter solstice and the end of the year to start thinking ahead high level. Now, I know many of you have done yearly readings with me already. You've got that in the bag. You know what's coming. I know many of you have cast wheels with me. If you're in mystery school, we do this work. If you've created some type of vision board, wonderful. But if you haven't, now is a really good time to spend the rest of the year, specifically between the peak of the holiday season and the new year, really casting intentions at a high level. I'm not talking about, your New Year's Eve goals, because we all know unless you put those behind actions and feelings, they don't come to fruition. But I mean high level of intentions. How do you want to experience the next year? How do you want it to feel? What kind of growth do you desire to feel in your body? Because we know time is going to continue to feel like it's moving fast, although time is an illusion. It's going to continue to feel like it's moving fast. And so if you envision yourself 1 year from now, how do you want to grow between now and then? So these are very simple practices to bring winter solstice into your field. And of course, if you're desiring to go deeper into shadow work, then on the day of the longest night, it's a beautiful time to conclude shadow work. If you're just starting shadow work, wonderful, you can begin it then. Of course, that's a totally different topic, so I'm not going to talk about that here, but I believe because most of us are in the tradition of celebration, focused on intentional, slow living and presence. Make winter solstice a day of celebration, regardless of what you put on your altar and what you don't. Honor the traditions, honor the time of year where you get to explore where you need more slow living and presence in the moment. That is the most powerful way to bring Yule and winter solstice into your practice. Now, if you desire to actually create a real beautiful Yule log, feel free to comment below and I will give you some suggestions and some ideas. If you have a burning fireplace, how to work with larger fires. For me, I may even do a fire on the beach, weather permitting, with a Yule log, because that allows me in my environment to do so. So know where you're located and how you can bring in more fire to honor the return of the King Sun. All right, I will see you when I see you. Make sure you subscribe to stay in touch with all the new videos that come out here. Thank you for joining us today. On any of your favorite listening apps, we would really appreciate a rating and review. And if you're looking for more information, make sure that you go to moontempleschool.com and you can find us there.